everyone. Welcome back to Unveil Paranormal. I hope everybody is doing great and having a wonderful, wonderful day and an awesome weekend coming up. We are here for yet another open discussion show. So if you're interested in chit-chatting and contributing to tonight's show, let me know and go ahead and put comments, questions, any of that into the comment section. If you actually want to come on the video with us, let me know and I will send you the link and you can put in your 2 cents. But tonight is a very interesting topic that we discuss quite a bit in the paranormal field. So I'm kind of looking forward to having that discussion right here, right on live and chat. So tonight's topic, for those of you that did not read the description, is about residential etiquette. So what do I mean by that? Well, I mean by a lot of things. But actually, I do have a special guest on tonight with me. He wants to contribute to the conversation. So actually, I should probably bring him on here again. Jeremy, you're one of them. Also, if you want to join, you can. Join and put in your 2 cents as somebody else who's done residentials on a regular basis. I hadn't had time to reach out to you. I've had a crazy busy day, guys. Like, crazy. So I am very disorganized tonight. You guys probably realize that. So let's bring Brad on here.
Hi, everyone.
So everybody has met you a million times on the show.
Right.
We were brainstorming early. You usually tend to help me on these shows when there's open discussions. You're one of the main people I brainstorm this stuff with because you have a lot of experience in the field. You've done residentials, you've done, just about all of it. So I'm like,
yeah,
hey,
pretty much. I'm always busy doing something.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, what's your input on residentials? And, we discussed that stuff. So, I'm moving my fan up here, guys. It's hot. It's like, I think it was 82 degrees. How hot is it down there where you're at?
It's probably around that. I don't know. I'm back in my office in the dark and blocked off from everyone else, so it's definitely hot in here.
Oh gosh. Well, I have a fan going because of that. It's hot. But yeah, definitely I want to open this up for open discussion with residentials. So I just wanted to pull you on here before I started explaining what a residential is. So
yep, that's good.
So for those of you who are like, what the hell do you mean residential etiquette? Well, I'm talking about how to properly handle residentials, which residentials are in the paranormal field. They are the investigations that are done at a home based off of like a request. It's not a community lot. It's not, it's where somebody lives. It's a residential. Like
a non-pay-to-play place.
Yeah, a non-pay-to-play place. Like we go to, I don't know, Ashmore Estates. That's not a residential. That's a pay-to-play place. Mm-hmm. You want to go there, you pay to play, right?
Right.
So that pay-to-play term, I've stolen that from you.
Yeah, that's okay.
I love it. By the way, I just realized, nice shirt.
Oh, thanks.
I just realized that. That's one of my old designs.
It is.
That's one of my favorite ones too. I should have got me one, but I still got the templates. I can always recreate one. But yeah, so Brad's going to be here to kind of put some input in. I'd love to hear from everybody else too on residentials. So I've explained what a residential is. Now, usually what happens is when I say a client, I'm going to be referring to like the person's house or anything like that. I like to say clients because that's what I deal with on a regular basis at a job. I'm a boring day job. They're clients, So let's call them clients. So right. The client reaches out to a team or a medium or a psychic usually, and they either do it by private messaging. Sometimes they post on the group chats, whatever, and say, oh, my house haunted, I need somebody to come out, blah, 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 right? Talk about their experiences and all of that crap, right?
Yep.
So there's a million teams out there, right? Like a million teams.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants to do a residential but everybody shouldn't do a residential. And there's several reasons for that. We're going to discuss who should be doing them, who shouldn't be doing them. Again, so I guess I should say this disclaimer. I am, and nobody really is, a professional in this field. You can take my advice or not. This is based off of my experience. This is based off of what I've seen, what I've been through, what works for me, what may not work for other people. My own belief systems is based off a lot of that. Brad's opinions also, disclaimer, same thing.
Yeah,
So,
not a professional. But I will say that I have been on both sides of this too. I have done residentials, and then I've had teams come do my own house.
right.
So,
right. Well, I did a walkthrough through your house, but that's different. Psychic medium walkthrough is different from the residential we're talking about.
Yeah, and I've actually had teams come in though too.
Okay. I'm just adjusting my camera here. I know you can't really see the sign thing when it's up, but I feel like it's too. Yeah. Now I see.
Want me to slouch?
Yeah. So then we can even, But yeah. So yeah. So they reach out. You reach out to your client. You have a haunted house you live in. You're getting hit, scratched, shit thrown at you, whatever's going on, or you keep seeing spooky stuff. It's scaring your little kid. It's scaring your pups. It's whatever. You reach out, and the first thing to know, and this is one thing. This is something that I was not going to talk about with the client specifically, but I did tell Brad I did want to make this one comment. If you are a client and you are reaching out to a paranormal group, psychic, medium, whatever, okay, I ask you, please, for the love of God, be honest, 100% honest. The biggest issue I find with clients is some don't want to be 100% transparent with you. Now, for me, there's reasons, because usually it's because I want to go in blind, whatever. But if the team wants to know if you have a mental health disorder, they're not asking you that because they want to just go put you on blast online, okay?
Right.
If they ask that if you have a drug problem, they are not asking you that because they're going to call the cops on you, okay? They are asking these questions because they have to eliminate the possibility of it being hallucinations, of it being paranoia, of it being a lot of these different symptoms that we have when we have drug addiction, when we have a mental health disorder. They are asking these questions for that reason. Now, if you're not comfortable with answering those questions, instead of lying about it, my recommendation, go to a different team. Go to a team that doesn't care. Because there's teams that don't care.
Right.
Do I think they're out there to really help you? No, probably not. They probably just want a place to investigate for free because everywhere's so expensive, But my recommendation is, if you're not comfortable answering those questions, get a different team. Don't just lie. Just don't lie to those people that are supposed to come to you and investigate. Be honest. Like I said, though, if a medium says, hey, don't tell me anything, then leave it at that. Just don't tell them anything, leave it be. So that's my 2 cents. That's all the advice I have for my pet peeve about clients specifically. What about you, Brad? Do you have anything you want to add?
Another thing is if they watch too much paranormal TV shows. That's what I found a lot is they're so addicted to the TV shows, they're almost like creating what's going on at their house in their mind.
They lost sense of reality is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we do see that. We see that in video games. It does happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the main reason for violence. I guarantee you that. But, you see that in video games, just TV in general watching TV. We go into an imaginative state is what you're saying. And then we start thinking it's happening.
Right.
And it's not. And then that's where kind of the paranoia starts sinking in, and so on and so forth. Just like I love true crime shows. I don't typically watch them late at night by myself because I know I will probably feel a little uncomfortable going to bed, and I don't like to go to bed feeling that way. I like to go to bed comfortable. So I usually watch like fun, relaxing stuff before bed. That's what I like to watch. I mean, I could watch something like that before bed and go to bed, but it's just not as easy for me. So, yeah. So that's really the advice on that. So, okay, we're going to shift gears to primarily talk about teams and then psychic mediums, okay?
Yep.
When you are discussing how to go, when you're discussing at the very beginning of a request to do a residential, Brad, what are some of the first things you want to know?
The first thing is I want to hear their claims. I usually go in with like a set of questions. Like I want to hear your claims. I am going to ask all those questions about mental health, religious views, because that all that plays into you got to determine how legitimate are these claims that they are having.
Right. Yeah, you wanna get the claims, figure out exactly what's going on. Now, when other than the claims, do you ask them also like, have you tried to investigate yourself, or do they have experience in paranormal investigation? I mean, usually we probably get the answer, "Oh, I watch it on TV."
Yeah. That's usually the number one answer. It's like we saw this on TV and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, TV paranormal and real paranormal investigating is completely different. It doesn't happen in an hour. You gotta do it, review it. It's a lot of sitting in the dark, asking questions to nothing. So,
and that's another thing with when you're setting up these investigations, you need to realize when you commit to that case as a paranormal investigator, whatever, when you commit to that case, please actually set time aside to treat it as if it was your own private home investigation. Like, do the research. If you do research beforehand, do the research. Get to know your clients as well as you can in the situation they're in. If don't go in too blind. Ask question after question. One thing you and I discussed also is follow up.
Right. Yeah. Like when we do it, we usually go in the first time and just do an interview and maybe a small 20 up to an hour investigation, just seeing if we can experience any of the stuff that they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly just an interview process for the first visit. Once we determine, hey, this seems pretty legit, let's set up a second one. We do more interviews, get more details, as much as they can give us. We go over and tell them what we found from the first one, and then we do like a true investigation with like more equipment, actually delve deep into it, and then we usually go back a third time and to show them what we found, and then if we find out what they want us to do, if they want us just to confirm it, or if they want us to try to remove anything if we find it, we try to determine and make a plan of action from there on out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with those steps. Like, I usually try to do as much as possible as I can in advance. For me personally, like I would prefer to do 2 trips minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get as much information as I can via online and stuff like that, because for some of us, it's hard to get a team together to do a residential. I have that issue. I will get residentials because I'm a medium and people want a medium there. They want somebody, they'll reach out specifically not to a team, but to a medium because they want that person there. Well, I do not, and this is one of the rules, do not do investigations at a residential by myself. Will not, absolutely not. It's a safety issue. I don't know these people. I won't do it. So I have to at least have one person come with me. A snake bite Does it look like I have my lip pierced? Oh, it's one of my giant zits right here. Is it what you're looking at? God, Chris, point out my zit. Oh, it's some on your screen. Whatever. I am so broke out right now, guys. I was complaining to Brad right before. I said I'm gonna cover it up, and now here I am talking about it. Yeah, I'm so broke out right now. I'm like too old for this shit. But anyways, distraction, ADD kicking in, which I'm not diagnosed with, but I might be.
Maybe.
Yeah. See, now I forgot my thought. Squirrel just ran by. What were we talking about?
We were discussing you would usually go in 2 trips.
Yes.
And not to go alone.
Yes. So yeah, it's fine, Chris. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I prefer to do 2 trips if possible. One where we do the investigation, and then the other where we reveal our findings. Now, another reason for me personally that I want to go with the team is I almost always want to go as the medium. I don't really want to do residential, and this is just my personal thing. As a paranormal investigator, I'll bring the gadgets and stuff like that, but guys, I will not review your audio. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's one thing when it comes to residentials. You need to know what you are willing to actually do. I know I'm not willing to sit for hours and listen to audio. I don't even do it on my regular ghost hunts. I am terrible at it. One, I think my hearing's off a little bit. But 2, I'm so busy. So I almost always want to go as the medium. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, that's why I go with the team I go with, because I know I have some amazing people who love to review video and audio, and that's not me. So that's why I bring all the gadgets and set up all the fun stuff, and then let my 2 teammates do that part of the work.
Yeah. So, and Jeremy says he'll do the pictures and video. Awesome. Jeremy, you're in as the video and picture guy. Like, who's going to do audio? Hey, Brad, you got a guy that loves audio. Like,
I do.
Let's call up Phil, right? Phil from Heart City. Like, hey, can you just come
Not the one I was thinking of, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm just saying, like, he's an example of somebody who actually reviews his audio. You have a guy on your team that actually reviews the audio, doesn't mind doing it, and will do it, right?
Yep, he will do it like usually like the next day. He's usually really quick with it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you have a team that's set up for this, like just because you have to follow up with these people. These people are contacting you because they want a service from you. Yes, most people don't charge for it anymore because it's frowned upon. Some people charge. I know this because I've had people reach out to me and say, well, how much do you charge? I don't. Okay. I don't. I take donations. That's it. But some people charge. And if you're going to charge them and then you're just not even going to follow up with them or review, you're just going to go out there, have this little chit chat with them back and forth and do whatever you can at the one session and never go home and review anything. You're not helping these people.
Right. That's like the main purpose of doing a residential is to put the homeowner's mind at peace. You're trying to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Jeremy, our team needs an audio person. I agree. It does. We need an audio person.
I know a couple guys.
Yeah. Maybe Jerry's looking to add people. I don't know. I'm just gonna start adding people to things, and he's gonna be like, "What the hell, Clarissa? Like, we need them. We need audio people. We need this type of person, that type.
Matt lives up that way. I mean,
he does. He's up this way. I'm sure he would do a residential with us.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
If I gave him an invite. Matt's a pretty cool guy. So yeah, you just gotta know your team players and what they're going to bring to the table. Don't bring your whole team just because they want to be there, okay?
Right.
When you do a residential, you want to be professional and you want to bring the people that are going to help contribute to it. I am big on anytime I've created my own personal groups, committees, whatever, I don't just add everybody. I am big on, well, will this person contribute? Have they contributed in the past? And what can they offer? Like, I actually take into consideration all that stuff before I'm like, yeah, you're in, you know? And do that when you're thinking about, hey, I'm going to do this residential. Like, who would bring value, or who would bring, you know, who would benefit to help, or for our client or whatever, you know? So
Yeah, not like we discussed earlier before the show, I put know your equipment that you're taking. You don't need to take all the fancy gadgets and the ghost boxes and the portals and all that maybe to a residential, just because they're fun to use and neat, but sometimes they don't always give the greatest evidence. Sometimes you just need to be super basic, just a recorder, see what you get.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Bringing everyone was a problem we had with the previous version of the team. I'm always looking at the size of the home and figuring out how many we need for the space and who would be the best. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, Jeremy. And I agree with you. That's kind of how I feel too. The size of the home matters. I mean, if it's a tiny little ranch, you know, 2, 3 bedroom, like, you're going to have like 5 people in one room and 5 in the other. Like,
Yeah, one of the teams that came and investigated here actually had a waiting list because there were so many people who wanted to come investigate my house. There was like, I think the waiting list was like 12 people long. I'm like, you can't get that many people in my house.
right. Yeah, your house needs a small group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So think about those things. I love that you brought that up, Jeremy, that you consider the size. And I've asked that on when I'm consulting, I will say, consulting with a client. I've asked them, well, how big's your house? You know, so I need to know these things. So I know you who to bring. Like, another thing is, if you're dealing with children specifically, or the elder specifically, or anybody with a disability or something like that, you need to find people more sensitive to those groups, those different type of variety of groups. Even if there's somebody in the household that is average, is like middle-aged, but they're a drug addict or something, like, you need to bring people that are sensitive to this stuff so that they can find somebody relatable within the group, you know? So it is kind of good to get to know the family as like a unit, you know, get to know that family as a unit. When it comes to getting to know as much as possible, I will say this. Again, the exception is if a psychic or medium does not want to know information, we're not going to ask. We're not going to ask, well, who all lives in the home? Who, like this? We're not going to ask those questions. We're just, oh, so here's how it works usually, guys, because most of the residentials I've done in the past are referrals. Like, I would say 80% of them have been referrals. So they've reached out to a paranormal team. They said they wanted a psychic medium there, and a paranormal team was like, well, we don't really have one of those. So they reach out to me, and then I jump in, right? Usually all I ask is, when do I need to be there? What's the address? That's it. That's me. I like to go in as blind as possible. I don't want to know what the haunting is, any of that crap. If I think it construes my thinking. So that's why I don't want that information. So, Brad, have you ever been, I mean, you're sensitive yourself, but have you ever had to take that role in a residential, and how do you handle that?
I'm trying to think if I've ever had to really turn on that ability. I did a house not too long ago up in Noblesville that was having all kinds of crazy claims, and I like to outsource a lot of my psychic medium stuff because like I said, I have those abilities, but I don't like using them at public events or for like residential. I asked for photos of the house because I have a friend who can remote view.
Mm-hmm.
who lives down in Kentucky. So I just send her the photos, and then I let her tell me what she sees, and then I see what she tells me, and then they tell me what is going on and match
Right.
it up if it matches, if it doesn't. So I've used it that, but most of the time I just go in as the investigator.
Yeah. And as an investigator, like, what kind of advice do you have with, like, when you're going into these, what kind of extra advice do you have beyond what I've already discussed? Because you're going in differently in these than I am. Usually I am the medium.
Yeah, I go in trying to debunk anything they're claiming. I don't want to find a ghost when I go to a private residence. I want to find rational answers for their knocks and their bangs, and just so I can say, hey, this, you might check this. I'll give a couple examples. I did a house up on the northeast side of Indy, and the guy was claiming to hear knocking on his roof. Well, it was like October a couple years ago, and he only heard it at night because he was super hard of hearing and had his TV blasting during the day. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and we went through the house, didn't really feel anything. My teammate went outside to smoke, and I went outside and walking out on the front porch, and there's black walnuts laying all around the side of the house where he's been hearing this knocking on his ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that could be it. They're falling off the tree, hitting his roof. So we literally started throwing black walnuts up on this guy's roof and said, is this the sound you're hearing? And he's like, that's it exactly. He felt so relieved that we were able to determine what it was just by finding a rational answer.
Yeah. And that's awesome. Problem solve. Problem
Mm-hmm.
solve it if you can. If you can find a reason that's not paranormal, that's why they have experience. We talked over the phone about EMF.
Yes, yeah, that was the other one I was going to talk about. This
Yeah.
was a house that was on Tibbs Avenue, right downtown Indy, right across from Central State. It literally looked at Central State Mental Hospital.
Okay.
So the potential for it being haunted is incredibly high.
Yeah.
Well, they were claiming everything under the sun. There again, they watched a lot of paranormal TV shows. So we went in with like 3 people. We didn't experience anything until we went to their basement. We went down to their basement, and the EMF was so crazy, it was like a giant fear cage.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to this one spot, and it completely flatlined a millimeter. Like, it wouldn't even register the number. It just went dot, 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 dot.
Oh my God.
And then we determined that their entire house, their electricity in their house was grounded to one screw. So we literally went upstairs and we're like, hey, you guys might want to have an electrician come out and look at this. This is a potential fire hazard. You guys need to get this taken care of. And they did, and they come back to us and they're like, everything's so much better now.
Yeah.
You saved us from having a fire. So
Oh wow. Yeah.
yeah. And before they had it fixed, I was dumb enough to actually touch the screw.
Yeah. We got a guest.
Oh, Slimmers.
Slim Jim. He's getting antsy.
But yeah, so I try to find like rational reasons. Like the house I did in Noblesville, we couldn't really find any rational reasons for any of the stuff that they were having happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally had to investigate, showed them the amazing audio we were catching, and then we had to take it a step further because they wanted it gone. We had to contact some of my contacts that can actually remove things. So
right. Yeah. The EMF levels, that's something you can, like, just anybody can check for you.
mm-hmm.
And some of you may not know, but high EMF levels can cause hallucinations. It can cause illness. It can cause that paranoia. It can cause a lot of things. So you really do need to know that stuff. Like if you have high EMF in your house, I I'm no expert, but I would just, look into how high your EMF levels are in your own home. You can get one of those detectors at a hardware store. It doesn't have to be a ghost hunting tool.
Right.
That's a hardware store thing. So yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. One other thing that we talked about, so Brad, we were talking earlier, you said that usually when you go into an investigation, you always have like a list of questions for them, and then you recommend recording those interviews, right?
Right. Because then if you do your interviews, you want to record it so A, you know what they answered.
Right.
B, it's just more time you're there investigating. Maybe it's interacting with you while you're asking these questions about it. I mean, it's just you want to document as much as you can.
Yeah.
Like I've been on some private homes where we've taken tons of photos, tons of EMF, done all like the preliminary, hey, the refrigerator's here and it gives off an EMF and it comes out to the room this far. So if they're feeling it, something near the refrigerator, it could be that. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
You just have to check everything and document as much as you can.
Absolutely. And we also talked about how, like, your religious views could.
Yeah, like if someone's super religious and that can play into a role of what they think they're experiencing.
Yes, absolutely. Your belief system in general, not just religion, can really have an effect on not just the spiritual world, but the real world around you. We have bias, we have natural biases that affect us just in our everyday lives. It can affect us in our homes while we're just chilling, whatever. So that's something else. Another thing is when you're just getting ready to do the investigation, I think that it's really, really, really important to be clear what the client wants out of this. Find out exactly what their goal is. Is their goal that you come in and you just remove whatever it is? Is their goal that you just come in and just confirm their hauntings? What is it they want out of you going to their house and investigating for them? Because if you say, yes, I'll take the case, you bring everybody that you can that can do their part, but in the end, they're like, I really want it removed, and you don't have a person there at that time or that you can reach out to that can remove it, you got a problem. You just wasted this person's time.
Right.
So you need to know, like, maybe they don't know what they want. So keep that in mind. There could be an instance where they're like, oh, it's fine. But then they have a medium come. Well, see, we've had this conversation about mediums and how to tell if there's really no way to confirm if a medium is telling you what's really going on. So there's no way to prove it really.
There is not.
Because what I was about to say was a medium comes in and says there's something bad in there and you need to get rid of it. They recommend it. You're trusting that medium knows what they're talking about. You're trusting that medium knows exactly what they are saying is what it is. I walk in, oh, there's a demonic entity here. I am 100% sure it's a demonic entity, but I can't prove it. We were talking about that because
we were
trying to figure out.
That's similar to that house in Noblesville. They were thinking it was something like that, but I never got a medium there.
Right.
But I found enough actual audio and video evidence that kind of confirmed, yeah, there's something pretty nasty here.
Right.
So I literally had to go that route to have it removed.
Right.
Like we actually went back multiple times to have it removed.
Right, and that might be a situation where it is good for a medium to have a team of people who pay attention to what they capture to confirm that, because otherwise, if you're just, a person just decides on a whim that they want it removed while the investigators are there, But well, I mean, because it could be possible. What I could see happening is an investigator could be like, oh, it's not that scary. They're over dramatic, whatever. And then they just don't ever get the person their help. If a person's asking you to get them a medium or somebody, a priest, whatever, to remove whatever's there, just try to get one for them. Even if you don't think it's that bad, they're just overreacting, whatever. Just do your diligence. Oh my God, I can't talk. And get them a priest. Or give them, you know, I don't know, contact information or something. Like,
and they're
to other network. We all network together, whether we like each other or not. We are all networking in this field. You know, it's just like a workplace. That's why
it's called a field. Going back to recording their interviews. Some of the best audio we got from that house was literally while we were just sitting there talking. And getting to know the people. It literally called the woman that lived there a dirty girl on our audio while we were just laying there. Or while we were just sitting there.
Laying there and dirty girl, what were you doing?
That was a slip of the tongue. While we were just sitting there.
Honesty. Brad was investigating.
I was not. I didn't.
House. Dang.
I did not lay down at that house. But then once we did bring in the person who could actually remove it, what was in the house was annoyed and was actually affecting me too.
Right.
Because I've told you the story about
you did
off of camera about that day. So once they went back a third time that I wasn't allowed to actually go to because the house was affecting me so much.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and speaking of telling stories about our residentials, confidentiality. Yes, professionalism and confidentiality go hand in hand. Now, Brad's not giving any specific details about the client, the location, any of that stuff. But if somebody asks you not to speak about it, don't speak about it. If somebody asks you, like, they're kind of afraid to have a team come in because they don't want people to think whatever of them, don't say anything. If they have you come while their husband's at work so that they don't know you're there, because I've had people ask me like, oh, my husband's not really into this. Can you guys come when he's not here? Because I don't think he'll appreciate you guys investigating.
I've had that happen.
I've had that happen too. And you don't talk to that husband. You don't reach, because you don't work for that family in that situation. You're working for like the wife or whatever in that situation. You know, so confidentiality is really, 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 really important. So I'm glad that we thought that popped up when you were talking about that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, try not to cancel on the client. Oh my gosh.
that same house I've been talking about, we had to like reschedule like 4 or 5 times because of COVID, because of the weather. Like one night we were supposed to be there and it literally was the blizzard. The night of the blizzard, we were supposed to be at that house, but so we had to like reschedule it like 3 or 4 times. It was almost to the point that we had to reschedule it so much that they were getting annoyed with us. And I totally get it, but most of that was out of our control. It wasn't like, oh, we don't want to come. It was the weather's bad, we're sick. It was like,
yeah. That's the hard thing about trying to put together a team, is a lot of people drop out like that. They'll be like, oh, well, you're going, so I'm not going to go. You know, like, you guys got this covered. I'm not going to go. Or they'll say, I want to do it. And then something comes up, you know, whatever.
That sounds like my regular team on every investigation.
I had changed my platform. I made an update on there about my services, and I put on there that please reach out to a team first before reaching out to me. I had mentioned that because I have to cancel a lot of the times, because sometimes I can't get the team together because a lot of times it's because the location's too far away.
Right, like the one you had down in southern Indiana.
Yeah, it was 4-hour drive. 4-hour drive, okay? I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to be there for them and help them. And I will feel guilty probably till the day I die that I couldn't do it for, because that's the type of person I am. I feel guilty for it. But you know, like, I can't help it if I can't get a team together or whatever. You know, we can't help
I tried. I tried to help.
Yeah. I mean, we had rescheduled like 3 times, I think. And it's like, and I finally said, you're going to have to find somebody close by, which sucked because this specific client had already had teams out and mediums and they charged her.
Oh.
And and I was like, oh, that makes me so mad. Again, like I said, it's okay to accept donations. Like, I will have some people say, well, do you want me to at least cover your gas? Up to you. Up to you. And they will. They'll just give me gas money or whatever. Because I will drive. I think the furthest I've ever drove for residential is probably about 2.5 hours. I think I had one in Greenwood. That's south of Indy.
That's just on the south side of Indy, yeah.
Yeah. So I had one down there, and that was fun. I had a couple different ones in Indy that were repeat clients. Some were residentials, and some were. I drove down there one day just to do a face-to-face reading with somebody because she really enjoyed my readings. You know, so it's like, you know, you could donate. I mean, that's all I gotta say. But don't ever accept money from people that don't charge people. You can accept money, just don't charge people for these.
Yeah, no.
You're not the. We are experienced. We are not professionals.
There's no professionals in paranormal because there's no. You don't even know if we're asking the right questions. There's no way to actually prove anything. But you can be experienced.
So, like, in a field, like a certain type of job field or whatever, like if we compare paranormal investigating to that. So in a certain field of work, let's say doctors, okay, those are professionals, right? They go to school for it. They learn for it. There's been trials. There's been controlled environments to where they do like research and stuff like that. So they know what works, they know what don't work, and they have proof to back it up, right?
Right.
We don't have controlled environments in the paranormal field like they do. I mean, we're not locked in a building.
I'd like to be.
With like,
I truly would. I want to be at a location like days on end by myself and just let me run experiments. I want that.
But how you have it be controlled though to prove it's legit?
True.
You know, like it's just, I don't know. To me, it's kind of wishy-washy, messy. Until
we can get repeatable data,
right,
that we can then use to create tests to get stuff to happen, we aren't going to ever have any actual proof.
Yes. So for sure. Let's see what else here we got here. Debunk. We already talked about that. Oh, I love this. I love that you wrote this. Remember that the client has to live there after you leave.
Yep.
Don't go in there and scare the shit out of your client. Put the fear of God in them or whoever else, and then walk away and act like it's okay.
Yep.
That is the last thing you need to be doing to these people, okay? They may not be experienced in this field. They may be extremely gullible, trustworthy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You go in there and you scare them so bad that they want to move.
Right.
That should be on you. Now, if spirit scares them so bad that they want to move, that's on spirit, right? In my opinion, that's on spirit. But if you're the one putting it in their head, terrifying them, now let's just say, like, if there's a serious situation it needs to be dealt with, it should be dealt with.
Right. You still got to be honest with them, but you also have to say the client almost needs to know that whatever we find, they're going to live with whatever we find. I mean,
right. Like
but
if we capture their name on EVP,
mm-hmm.
you have to understand this is what it is. We captured your name on EVP. Accept that. That's all we're doing. We're presenting the evidence. We're not.
Right.
We shouldn't be persuading them on what to do with it unless we were professionals. We're not doctors.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the cure. We have ideas. We have theories. We have all those stuff, right? So really what she's saying is, instead of saying, you should sage and salt, you should say, I recommend considering this way of taking. It's doctors do that typically. Actually,
yes.
they usually don't say, you need to get on anti-anxiety medicine, right? They don't say that. They say, for like a therapist, they say, have you ever considered taking an antidepressant? They do it that way. Like, that's kind of the way we need to present our advice, as opposed to saying, no, you need to take care of this now. That kid's going to get possessed, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my God.
Try to turn anything into a positive. That's
right.
Like, maybe you find a spirit and it is acting like it came out with their like grandmother's name, and you can be like, well, you have something here. It's not really doing anything. It used your grandmother's name. Maybe it's her visiting you once in a while or something. You got to try to put a positive spin on anything.
Right. Like, if it bothers you enough, it's up to you. You could keep it, you could lose it. You could try this, you could try that. Give them options.
And there again, it's the follow-ups too. If it gets bad, contact us. We'll come back out. We'll see what we can find, and then we'll create a plan of action.
Yep. There are very, very, very few recorded incidents that a spirit has influenced you in such a bad way that it's caused you to put somebody else in danger, yourself in danger, whatever. That stuff's not documented as much.
The Roth house is the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
So don't just assume if it's a bad spirit, it's going to possess you and you're going to go off and get homicidal, suicidal, whatever. Don't get that out of your head. Get out. Like, stop. All right. The human. So as a whole, the human is quite strong compared to most spirits. So most of the time you can have control of the spirits in your home. In my opinion, I am an experienced medium. So then again, I might look at it a lot different. But I even think as a child, when we had spirits in our house, I felt like I had a little more control than a normal 10-year-old would.
Yeah, I've lived in a haunted house my entire life, so
yeah, for sure.
I'm used to it.
Right, for sure. So those are just some ideas to throw out there at you. Brad, do you have anything else to add? Any last advice for those teams that want to do residentials? Those
be an experienced investigator. Don't jump into it too early. That's a big one too, is don't go in really green, really new.
Mm-hmm.
Have some years of experience under your belt of an actual investigating before you jump in to try to help people.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Sometimes people get into the field and they get really excited.
Yep.
They're really excited and they're like, yeah, like, they're like, oh, I'm going to go to all these locations. I'm going to start being a psychic medium. We see that all the time. I'm going to start doing residentials, helping families do healings, all this stuff. This shit takes time. This shit takes time to learn, experience, all this stuff. Like, you've not done this for a short period of time. I'm at the point where I've not done this for a short period of time. And it's like, I'm more confident now than I would have been 5 years ago. I guarantee.
I think I've been investigating with a team or outgoing doing stuff for over 13 years now.
Yeah.
So
get experience before you start taking on these cases. If you can find somebody in the field that has experience, see if they'll mentor you. Now, I will say this. I personally, from somebody who just popped in the field out of nowhere, feel like finding a mentor in this field is really hard. Finding a genuine mentor is really hard. Some people pretend to be your friends. So really, really research people, like watch their social media, like not just like they're like, like me and Brad's on the show or whatever. Like watch what they post on their personal pages and stuff. Like, do they seem catty? Do they seem, because you will see that a lot in the field is cattiness, and you don't want that, and if you don't mind it of catty here and there, make sure they're kind of on the same level with the same thoughts of you and all that stuff. Like find somebody that you really jive with. So
yeah, that's another important thing is if you're with a team, you need to have a good vibe together.
Yes. Yeah, if you're doing residentials and you go in.
Residential or any place really, but yes, definitely with residentials.
Yeah. Well, pay to play too, but yeah, because residentials, you go in and Miss Know-It-All is annoyed with Miss True Medium. I'm just kidding.
Who would that be?
I don't know. No. Anyways, like if you have people clashing or you have two alphas in the team and nobody really takes leadership, because you kind of do. Every group and team has a leader, so to speak. Somebody who just kind of takes the reins and goes, which is a good thing. It really is to have. But yeah, so I mean, just keep those things in mind. I like that you mentioned that. So, but I think that was it. That was on our list.
I think so. I think we made it through it.
So guys, if you have any questions on residentials, whether you want to be a client or you want to do them yourself, you want to join a team to do them, or you need a psychic medium to do them, whatever, you can reach out to me or Brad.
Yep.
We are, disclaimer, not the gurus, but we are highly opinionated and highly helpful. So, especially me, I am highly opinionated, and I will tell you if I think something's a bad idea. But we're extremely helpful, and we have people reach out to us all the time. You know, I'm more than happy. We're busy, but hey, give me a minute, and I'll respond to you and get you an answer.
Yeah, I'm usually ghost hunting somewhere every weekend, so.
Brad's got plenty of experience. Come here. You want to say hello? You want to say hello? Look on the camera. He's like,
glimmers.
See, everyone wants to see your beautiful face. Look at your beautiful face. He's like, God, I hate this woman. He probably wants to go out. Hey, you want to go out? He's like, oh. This is what he does, guys. He just sings to me. You guys go out? What is it? What is it? Tell me. Yeah. So, I guess for tell me. Okay, I'm coming. Dang. Somebody really got to go. All right. So, Brad, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I greatly appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, and just everybody that joined in and gave some advice. Your own advice was awesome. Some of you that popped in there and brought some things to the table. That was great. I appreciate it. With that said, everybody, thank you so much. Don't forget there is now only 2 shows left to this season. And next week's show, guys, I will actually be more prepared because I am going to be teaching you about mediumship. I'm going to be sharing my stories and offering advice. So if you are interested in that, tune in next week because I'm going to try to give ample time for your questions. If the one show's not back yet, maybe it will run over. That's okay. But I really, really, really have learned so much over the years that I know there's advice I have that people would find valuable. I know there is. Mm-hmm. And I am a self-taught medium, all right? No religious background, no mentors, no books, No TV watching shit. None of that.
And she loves reading tarot cards.
And apparently I read tarot cards and didn't even know it, but I can do it. It's fine. Yeah, so self-taught medium, so completely different from everybody. I'm not certified in any way, shape, or form because that would mean I would have to take a class. That would mean somebody else would be teaching me how to do what I do. No, it's not happening. I can't accept that anymore. I've been doing this way too long. I got to learn it on my own. So for sure, join us next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. I am very much looking forward to that show. It's exactly what I love to do, and I don't share enough on here about my mediumship, so I'm looking really forward to it. For sure, for sure. All right, everybody, with that said, thank you all so much. Everybody, you have a good night. Bye.